seven-figure offer that's available for Lomachenko. And guess what? He missed out on the opportunity.
It takes two to rumble, but we have another fighter that said that he looking to rumble after Composis. He said, "I'll fight Devin for the WBC belt, but then after that, they're going to tell me to fight Tank for the WBA." What's your take on that?
Who's first on your list after Combosis?
All of them, man. There's no.
But
there's
pick
not
one guy that you
person
would rather
is
fight
not-
before any other of them. What's the first guy on your list? I mean, it has to be somebody that you prefer to fight out of those three guys first.
It's gotta be. Gotta be. I would love to fight Tank Davis. I would love to knock him out.
Yeah? Why is that?
Yeah. Huh?
Why is that?
Because he. A lot of people talk about it that it'll be a 50-50 fight. I think that's the most. If we mention Ryan Garcia and all that, the guy that I think everybody thinks it'll be a 50-50 will be me and Tank Davis. Even though I don't believe it will be.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm always going. I know what I can always bring to the table.
I like that fight, but I like
I think a lot of
Devin
people
Haney.
love the fight.
I like Devin Haney only because he has that title. You know, if you go for that title, then the winner of that, there's no confusion. There's no confusion. It's undisputed.
Yeah, but
Nobody can say nothing.
I kid you not. You know what's gonna happen, Barack?
What?
I kid you not. I beat up. All right. When I take off Devin Haney's lips, and when I do what I gotta do, the whole thing next is they're just gonna say, well, Gervonta Davis is a regular champion. That you gotta beat him to become undisputed.
Oh,
it's gonna keep going. So my whole thing is like it ain't never gonna stop. But that's
Well,
why
at least you'll be making money. At least you'll be making tons of money doing. I said, even though you're right, people probably would say that, but in the midst of all of those fights, you're gonna be making some real money.
Thank God.
Oh yeah, of course. You know, thank God, man. And
I mean, you've earned it
first. And I look at it like, yo, yeah, you know, that could definitely be something in the works, for sure. Any of those guys, I don't see Floyd letting Tank come out into the woodworks to fight me, but I know that Devin Haney's father, they so dumb enough that they'll make that fight happen. Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Well, listen.
Hopefully.
I mean, we're looking forward to.
Bro, if you fought Devin and then you fought Tank, you'd make a ton of money and you shouldn't complain. If you fought Tank and you fought Devin, you'd make a ton of money, so why complain? Who cares if you had to fight Tank next, right? If you felt that you can beat both of the guys, then fight them. You're talking about calling out Josh Taylor and Jose Ramirez, and they're not even talking about you. So you're saying that I'm going to go and fight for legacy when you left a piece of the WBC back. Lomachenko says that Devin Haney has his belt. So if Devin Haney has his belt, what are the two belts that you had? You had a franchise belt and a counterfeit belt. Because you didn't win another belt. You didn't win Lomachenko's belt. He says Devin has that. So if Lomachenko said all he came on that night was with a franchise belt, why are you capping like you got two belts? And Loma is a pound-for-pound guy. He's on the list. He's been in the boxing business forever. So if we're going to trust any part about his word, then trust that then, right? But people don't want to listen to that. He's saying that Devin Haney has his belt. So what's the other belt that Teofimo got? He's showing two belts. How could you win two belts on one night? You had the franchise award, and you were given a token of appreciation for everything that you're doing with the WBC, but that's not the WBC world title. And if Mauricio says that that's his guy, that's okay. That's okay. Your guy needs to, like he said before, give him a call and say, I want to fight Devin Haney. And he said he could do that, right? Didn't he say he could do that?
Yeah, he did. He did say
that. Why? Okay, if he can call him, why he ain't called him all this time?
Apparently he don't want the fight.
If he can call him now, why he didn't call him all this time?
You got a great point.
When they beat Lomachenko, who was the name that they said?
Devin Haney.
The father and the son, right?
Yes, sir. They said Devin Haney's next.
So they knew as soon as they came out the ring that the people wanted to see them. So why you didn't call Mauricio then? Why'd you call Cambosos?
Right. There was never a confusion when it came to the WBA super title, though, being the real belt and the face of that organization. It's in every division, unlike the franchise. The franchise is only in 2 divisions. However, the title Devin has is in every single division. That's why Vasyl Lomachenko acknowledged that as the real title. So there's no confusion there.
Hey, my man, listen. No, it's not anything confusing because them are great fights. If it was a fight with Devin and Tank or the fight with Devin and Tio or Tio and Tank, what's the problem, man? If you fought Devin and you had to fight Tank, what's the problem, right? You're talking about 2 fighters that are recognized around the world, 2 fighters that have different styles that could pose a problem for you, that you show that you have the lock. You have the key to open up the lock. What's the problem? Right. We've asked to fight all those guys. We ain't turned down no fight. And when it was a problem, when the fight didn't happen, we still. All the times that we wanted to fight Javier Fortuna, then when we didn't have the belt and we were on champion recess, we petitioned to fight Javier Fortuna. He didn't want to fight. Then he said he wanted to fight after he heard already that we were talking about Jorge Linares. And when I asked the people, I said, well, Linares, right? That's a great fight. That's a great fight. Everybody says it's a great fight. It's a great fight for Dev. Great fight for Dev. And here come these guys. Where was these guys? Where was these guys at when we were in Texas at Ryan Garcia's fight? And if Lomachenko, if he has your belt, why did Devin have to say something then? If you know that he got your belt, why you didn't say nothing all this time? You said something after Devin said, where are you? Devin said, oh, this dude been quiet. Where is he at? He said, I'm here and I'm ready. Devin said, are you ready in April and ready in May? He says, yes. And you look on his tweet, he says, I'm ready. You probably are ready, but you ain't ready to fight Devin because you're not ready for the date because you haven't even talked to your promoter. You said we need to talk to the promoters. It's up to the promoters. It ain't even up to you, so what are you talking for?
And you guys did talk to the promoter.
Absolutely.
The only one that haven't talked to the promoter is Lomachenko.
Absolutely.
Teofimo got 2 belts in one night and have no mandatories for either one of them. Laugh out loud.
Talk about it. Speak on
Yes,
it, Kenny.
Sir.
Speak on it, Kenny. Shout out to Kenny, man. Speak on
Yes,
it.
Sir. Is Teofimo paying fees for both belts?
I hope he is. All that lying and capping he doing. I hope they charging his ass up for that because they're doing a great job at helping him market something that he's not. So he better be paying. Absolutely.
Man.
How did you choose Lomachenko? Because
I did not choose him. He requested, Canelo requested. So we sent out a vote and we analyzed his history.
Ooh, Canelo and Lomachenko requested?
Absolutely.
Ooh, you just made headlines.
Lomachenko.
You just made headlines.
Lomachenko, top rank, requested. And let me tell you, we analyzed the request. Top of the top.
Define the franchise belt. Can you define it?
The franchise is not a belt. It's not a championship. It's a designation given to elite, unique fighters who carry the industry of the sport of boxing. Canelo Alvarez and Lomachenko are 2 sensational fighters who carry the industry.
Ask Cameron Duncan, do Top Rank have like columns of fighters, and they say we don't want this guy fighting the black fighter, we don't want this fighter fighting the Mexican fighter, and so on and so forth?
You're gonna get into the racial stuff, huh?
No, I'm not. I'm asking.
That's a theory there by the greatest matchmaker, probably, in my opinion, ever.
Uh-huh.
And I'm not going to mention his name either, but you know what I'm talking about.
Uh-huh.
And he used to have a thing up on his board, NBF, no black fighters.
Uh-huh.
And when I was taught to bring up a fighter, you know, and again, it's just, he used to say to me, you can go anywhere in the country, and I'm going to leave it at this. I don't want to go into a long discussion because people are people in God's eyes, and we're all the same. He used to say to me, you can go anywhere into a city in America or anywhere in the world and ask a white guy, and he didn't say any other, he didn't say anything about Hispanic, anything. Ask a white guy to throw a jab, and half of them are going to turn backwards and throw it like a girl and everything. Ask any black man on a street corner in any city in the world, and they will snap out a jab in a heartbeat. And I used to laugh. He said, they're just more physically gifted. And he said, and so they have speed, and better to stay away from them. Nothing personal. So I said, okay. And I've lived by that. And, you know, I don't want to sound like some weird guy, but, you know, you're trying to be safe with your guys. And so, yeah, there is a thing about that, you know, but not in a bad way, in a very respectful way, you know, to be careful. So that's all.
The last man even said they doing that to protect them.
Right.
Somebody beat them, but they don't get a belt.
There you go.
The franchise belt is protect them from the big black guys.
So you would favor Devin Haney to beat Vasyl Lomachenko?